Picture a river in North Africa 95 million years ago. The water is dark, tannin-stained from decaying vegetation, 30 feet deep in the channel, murky enough that visibility drops to 0 below 10 feet. The surface is calm, undisturbed except for the occasional ripple from wind. Then something moves beneath, massive, 15 tons of muscle gliding through the water column. But the movement is wrong. The silhouette is wrong. It doesn't move like a crocodile, though there are crocodiles here 20 feet long with jaws that could crush bone. This shadow is larger, moves differently. The tail beats side to side with powerful rhythmic strokes, propulsive, efficient. But crocodiles don't have a 6-foot sail rising from their backs. The creature glides deeper, 20 feet down, 25, 30. A school of coelacanth's ancient lobe-finned fish, 5 feet long, scatters in panic. Too late. The jaws open. Not crocodile jaws, longer, narrower, lined with conical teeth designed for one thing: piercing and holding slippery prey. The strike is quick, precise. A coelacanth disappears. The massive shape turns in the water with surprising agility. The tail flat, paddle-shaped, covered in a tall fin, drives it forward. It surfaces briefly. Water streams off the 6-foot sail on its back. The head breaks the waterline, and that's when you realize what you're seeing. This isn't a crocodile, isn't a marine reptile, isn't any aquatic predator that should exist in this river. It's a dinosaur, 50 feet long, hunting, swimming, using its tail like a crocodile, its nostrils positioned high on its skull to breathe while mostly submerged. In 95 million years, nothing like this will exist again. But in 1912, someone will find its bones. And for over a century, everyone will get it completely wrong. One quick note before we continue. Most viewers aren't subscribed, and subscribing costs nothing. I appreciate the support. In 1912, Austrian fossil hunter Richard Markgraf was excavating in Egypt's Bahariya oasis, Sahara Desert, 110-degree Fahrenheit heat. But the fossils were extraordinary. He found massive bones, vertebrae, jaw fragments, teeth, unlike anything documented. He shipped them to German paleontologist Ernst Stromer in Munich. When Stromer examined the fossils in 1915, he was shocked. The jaw was enormous, crocodile-like, 2 feet long, conical teeth. Not the blade-like teeth of typical theropods, but the vertebrae were stranger. Neural spines rising 5.4 feet tall, taller than a man. They would have supported either a massive sail or a fatty hump. Nothing like this existed in any known dinosaur. Stromer named it Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, Egyptian spine lizard. He published his description, reconstructed it as a massive theropod bigger than Tyrannosaurus rex. But Stromer noticed something odd. The proportions were wrong. Elongated torso, shorter hind limbs than expected for a land predator. He couldn't explain it. He would die never knowing the answer because in 1944, everything burned. By 1944, Ernst Stromer had openly criticized the Nazi Party. His career stalled. 2 sons killed on the front lines, a third captured by Soviets. Munich was being bombed. The Bavarian State Collection sat blocks from Nazi headquarters. Stromer begged museum director Karl Berlin, a loyal Nazi, to relocate the fossils. Berlin refused. On April 24th and 25th, 1944, the British Royal Air Force bombed Munich. Direct hit. The building burned. Every fossil Stromer discovered was destroyed. The only Spinosaurus specimen in the world, gone. Stromer died in 1952, devastated. His life's work reduced to drawings and photographs. For 50 years, Spinosaurus existed only on paper. Everyone assumed the mystery of those odd proportions would never be solved. Then, in 2008, a man carrying bones in a cardboard box walked into a fossil market in Morocco. Paleontologist Nizar Ibrahim was researching Morocco's Kem beds fossil-rich Cretaceous deposits. A Bedouin fossil hunter showed him a collection of bones, large, heavy, embedded in distinctive purple and yellow striped sediment. Ibrahim examined them briefly, made notes. The Bedouin left. Ibrahim wouldn't realize until a year later that he'd just held the key to solving Stromer's mystery, and then lost it. A year later, in 2009, Ibrahim was at the Natural History Museum in Milan. He examined a partial skeleton acquired in the 1970s, originally misidentified as a crocodile jaw. Ibrahim looked closely at the sediment, purple and yellow stripes. The same sediment. His mind raced. These fossils could be from the same individual, the same skeleton, separated by decades and 1,000 miles. But he had no way to find the Bedouin. He didn't know his name, where he was from, only that he'd been wearing white clothes and had a mustache. Ibrahim returned to Morocco, searched for weeks, asked around fossil markets, showed photos. Nothing. Then, purely by chance, he saw the Bedouin walking into a cafe in Erfoud. After months of negotiation, the Bedouin led Ibrahim back to the site. In 2014, Ibrahim's team began excavating. What emerged from the Moroccan desert was the most complete Cretaceous theropod ever found in North Africa, and it was bizarre. The proportions Stromer had noticed were real and extreme. Short hind legs, disproportionately short. The femur was shorter than the torso vertebrae. That doesn't happen in land-based predators. Flat, paddle-like feet with wide, spreading toes. Nostrils positioned high on the skull so the animal could breathe while mostly submerged. Dense bones, unusually heavy, like hippos, like manatees, for buoyancy control underwater. Large, curved claws on the forelimbs, perfect for hooking slippery fish. Ibrahim published the findings in Science in 2014. His conclusion: Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic. It spent significant time in water, hunted fish, possibly swam. The paleontological community rejected it. Dinosaurs were land animals, all of them. Non-avian dinosaurs had never invaded aquatic habitats. That was settled science. Yes, some dinosaurs waded, some ate fish. But swimming? Actively pursuing prey underwater? Impossible. The criticism focused on one thing: how would Spinosaurus propel itself through water? The 2014 skeleton was missing the tail. Without the tail, there was no way to prove Spinosaurus could swim. Ibrahim needed more fossils. In 2018, he went back to Morocco and found what he was looking for. The excavation team targeted rock adjacent to the original dig site. What they pulled from the ground changed everything. Tail vertebrae. Dozens of them. Nearly 80% of a complete Spinosaurus tail. But this tail looked nothing like any dinosaur tail ever found. Neural spines rising from the vertebrae were enormous, some over 3 feet tall, creating a massive vertical fin along the entire tail length. The chevron's bones projecting downward were equally long. Instead of getting shorter toward the tip like in most dinosaurs, they remained elongated. Together, they created a tail that was tall and flat, paddle-shaped, like a crocodile tail. And unlike typical theropod tails, this one was flexible. The vertebrae didn't interlock tightly. They could bend laterally. This was a propulsive structure. Ibrahim's team sent the data to Harvard, to biomechanics experts Stephanie Pierce and George Lauder. Pierce and Lauder created robotic models, plastic tails mounted on mechanical controllers. They tested the Spinosaurus tail against other dinosaurs, Allosaurus, Coelophysis, and against aquatic animals, crocodiles, newts. The results were definitive. The Spinosaurus tail generated 8 times more thrust than land-based dinosaur tails. It was 2.6 times more efficient. It performed almost identically to crocodile and newt tails. In April 2020, the findings published in Nature, the debate was over. This is the nail in the coffin, Ibrahim said, for the idea that non-avian dinosaurs never invaded the aquatic realm. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus lived 95 million years ago in what is now North Africa, a vast river system, warm, humid, teeming with 6-foot coelacanths, massive sawfish, lungfish. Spinosaurus was the apex predator, 50 feet long, 15 to 20 tons, larger than T-Rex, but not built like T-Rex. The skull was long, narrow, crocodile-like, 6-foot snout, conical teeth for piercing fish, not tearing meat. Nostrils positioned high, allowing it to float mostly submerged while breathing. Elongated torso, short hind legs, forward center of gravity, unstable on land, perfect in water, dense bones for buoyancy control, massive curved claws for hooking prey, and that tail, paddle-shaped, flexible, 3-foot neural spines creating a massive propulsive fin. It hunted like a crocodile, lurking, waiting, explosive strikes powered by tail propulsion. The 6-foot sail likely served multiple purposes. Display visible above water like a shark fin. Thermoregulation. Stability while swimming. This wasn't a dinosaur that occasionally waded. This was a dinosaur that lived in water. A river monster. The only fully aquatic dinosaur ever discovered, and we almost never knew. For over a century, Spinosaurus was a mystery. A land predator with odd proportions no one could explain. Then its bones were destroyed in a bombing raid. Then, 70 years later, a paleontologist walked into a cafe at exactly the right moment, and we discovered the truth. The largest predatory dinosaur ever found wasn't a land animal at all. It was a swimmer, hunting fish with a paddle tail, living in rivers, competing with giant crocodiles. For 95 million years, nothing like it existed before. For 95 million years after, nothing like it existed again. The dinosaur that broke every rule. The river monster, Spinosaurus.